Hey there team, and welcome back to Bhur Sagath. Today we have a 5v3, which I think is definitely the best way to do Bhur Sagath. It's a pretty decent defensive position, I'd say. You can do it as a 4v3, I think, but 5 really allows the attackers to be a bit more wild. We've got Irishgunner who sent in this replay. Now the issue with Bhur Sagath is, of course, there's lots of trees here. We're not really going to be able to go through all the attacking armies properly, but we've got Angmar here, and we can generally see from a lot of these goblins, Snaga, there's some Blackwatch and Guardians, but generally this is a very numbers heavy force. Usually when you see a Goblin Band, you know that they're going to be numbers heavy. Goblin Band don't tend to get brought all the time. We've even got some Orc Fellers here and Guardians of Carndom in the back, so we may not have too many of the elites, but when you do see a blob like this, you can generally bet that there's Witchers hiding somewhere. There they are. So yeah, they're not overly hidden, but they're a bit mixed in. So that's not going to be immediately clear to the defenders that there are Witchers. But when Angmar's on the field, you can generally be pretty sure. We've got Mighty Mirko, who I actually have never really seen Mighty Mirko before, and he's playing as the Orcs of the Misty Mountains today, which I really do appreciate. Definitely one of my favourite sieging factions, one of my favourite factions full stop, but I never really play them on a field, I guess. So we've got the Heavy Goblin Halberds. Okay, we'll see these guys next week on the front line. Then they'll catch up in the next Bhur Sagath replay. Heavy Goblin Crossbows, some Blackback Mountain Berserkers, and the Goblin King Bodyguard. Goblin King Bodyguard is hiding? Interesting. The general shouldn't be able to hide. So where has he put his general then? Oh, he's put his general in with the crossbows? That's an interesting choice there, Mirko. Hopefully it doesn't backfire. Snaga Skirmishers, Heavy Goblin Spears, Mount Uruk Berserkers, and then this halberd position again. I love the Heavy Goblin Halberds, but more Heavy Goblin Halberds, but they're so slow. They're so painfully slow in or out of their phalanx formation. Then we see even less. Actually, I don't see anything. Where? Yeah, okay, his army is entirely hidden, and I'm not really wanting to just like search through the forest for it, but he's probably got a pretty similar force. I'm surprised there's a lack of trolls over here for Mirko, so maybe let's just look at the player. That's Shaddix. Okay, cool. So we do have another well-known guy over here. Canned is the next attacker here, so we're pretty evil so far with Grizzly Fox. Nurad Halberd, so a lot of Halberd potential, as I say, if they're willing to wait for the Gobles to get up to the front line. More Nurad Halberds there, and more Nurad Halberds. Then the Nurad Stormguard in the back. I'm actually thinking right now I should probably go up to 2 times speed, because Bhur Sagath has a very long run up to it, so I'll, if I just go into 2 times speed now, we should be alright. We've got the Elvelyn Marksman here, and Hammerguard. Hammerguard are changing, I did talk about that before. They're no longer going to be these, right now they do just look and feel very similar to the Tharbad Warhammers. Now, the Tharbad Warhammers are one of my favourite units, but they're going to be changing to a very cool hammer and shield unit, and I think it looks gorgeous, and it'll be cool to see that being used. Then, especially because right now both of the kind of infantry generals bodyguard units for Dorwinian are both, two-handed weapons. Then the Elvelyn infantry back here, and Glade Lords and Glade Riders. Sorry, I thought they were both Glade Lords for a minute. And the Glade Guard moving up alongside Sir Merquendi Bows. Now this might actually be a confrontation. Okay, we can't go straight to 2 times speed because we have a bit of a fight here between some Harlinden Riders. Actually, let's slow down because I should probably get the actual thing done. That'll be interesting. 0.1 times speed. Can I get through all this before they make contact? Probably not. Harlinden Riders here. Submethlon Lancers. MSQ is backing them up. So you probably, I'll say this now, you probably will see this battle report somewhere else. MSQ will probably send it to somebody, but at least we've got Irishgunner's perspective from it here. So sorry if you have seen this. Horse Lords Vilmo, Mythal every time. I love that's my favourite thing about Bhur Sagath. We get this nice sort of beam of light sometimes. It's kind of cool that they're engaging them and kind of giving a reason for them to hold back, because the grace period on Bhur Sagath can be kind of boring if you're not really engaging too much. Actually, yeah, no, we need to go at normal speed. So there'll be a bit of a cav confrontation over there, but we've got the Blade Masters. Some Noldor Guard here. Swordmasters, very elite. So 4 Linden Archers, okay. And then the Mithlond Marines, and Harlinden Guard, alongside, of course, the Wardens of Elessirion. Then up here, we have Baywin. Okay, so we do have a mix. As I say, I like to think of Dorwinian. Dorwinian can sometimes pass as an evil faction. Let's have a quick glance back and see what's happening here, because this is it's a pretty tense situation. A lot of elven swordsmen on horseback battling it out. Looks like both sides were definitely stung by that there. Real quality, a lot of money. Varia Cataphracts popped up. As I say, I think as tough as MSQ's force is out here, I don't know if it's going to be able to last too well up against all this punishment. But it's doing well so far. Back into the fort. Isengard got some trolls. Good to hopefully we'll get some troll v troll fighting going on today. That's always cool to see. Then Uruk crossbows, Dunlending clansmen. The Champions of the White Hand, okay, countering some of the Cav presence if MSQ can't wipe it out. Then the Half-Orc Baneguard and lots of Half-Orc units, Uruk-hai infantry and such. Pikes, of course. And then Cardlin by MP Beckerme is shown up too. This is with his Menhuriath Spearmen and some Goethlo trackers. We also are spotting the Ballista, not the Trebuchet, the Isengard Ballista there. Very frightening tool of war. Menhuriath sharpshooters making their way down, more sharpshooters, Wardens of Tir and Gorthad, Menhuriath men at arms, gatekeepers there, captains with an armor upgrade. Aye, that's strange. I didn't think that's how they looked. Oh well, it is. They look good. Yeah. I play as Cardlin all the time. Why don't I know how they look with an armor upgrade? Menhuriath men at arms there. I just for some reason, yeah, no, that is how they look. I was getting confused between them and another unit. Getting a big breastplate. So, since there is no grace period, this really gives the attack. It changes the game a lot, and the attackers can maybe run on through here and gain some ground if they're fast enough. But MSQ's Cav is definitely going to make a mess of that. Harlinden Riders here running on back after taking a bit of a kicking. They might just want to be used for their archer potential. Cardlin coming running out here with his Royal Court. It'd be cool to get those Champions of the White Hand out here. That would really control the Cav game. But as it stands, I think that as much damage as MSQ has done here, I think he has sort of lost this engagement. But, hey, maybe, you know, it's not so bad so far. Losing an engagement is not usually, you know, it's not always actually that bad a thing. Sometimes, you know, even though you may not have the men on the field at the end of it, it's still done a fair bit of damage here. This is fantastic, actually. We've got a few arrows coming in. Definitely not from the Mithlond Lancer. Oh, there's some Harlinden Riders mixed in with that. And they were getting some good shots into the front of these Nurad halberds. I love the Nurad units. They're actually quite nicely armoured, but shooting the front of a halberd unit is always going to hurt them, you know. Just lacking that shield is always going to mean that they're going to take losses. But Varia Cataphracts coming forward with the Brother to the Spear. Their heavy armor and that shield of theirs is going to allow them to take a good beating, but getting shot from the right side, that shield isn't going to come into effect, and they will drop kind of fast. Royal Court is running. Yeah, no, I would have done that. That's smart. That's smart. Royal Court may not be melee cav, but they are an exceptional lancer unit, and turning around like that up against just 4 cavalry, yeah, you were always going to mince them. Brother to the Spear by themselves out here can be very easily moved around. So, and those Mithlond Lancers, they've actually got javelins if they've got any left, but I would probably want to use my javelins against those cataphracts. Yeah, you see, if we just had the Champions of the White Hand, they would devour those cataphracts. Because right now all we have are Lancers and Horse Archers. But it's a cool little bout out here all the same. Quite a quick charge into those cataphracts. It's a nice, good bit of damage, but you need to get out. Yeah, especially with those Glade Lords coming in. I don't know. MP Beck. Oh, this is a good move from Grizzly, just trapping them in. MSQ's trying to help him out, and he's definitely working. But yeah, that worked very well. I'm surprised he got out there without taking more casualties. All in all, yeah, the defenders are doing quite a good job, outnumbered out here with their cav. I'd say if the Champions of the White Hand did rush on out here, I don't know what they're saving themselves for, if not for this. Maybe just to do some short range charging, because you can kind of do that with wargs quite well, because they have such a high attack bonus that even if you can't get your charge bonus added onto it, you're going to do a lot. So maybe he is just wanting to use them for those very, very nippy charges inside of the settlement. As intense as that was, I think that is over now. What we had generally 1 for 1. But the thing is, the main losses here to the attackers were their cavalry. And also these poor spearmen. Main losses there to them were their cavalry, as I say. And the cavalry is not going to be super effective inside anyway. So this is something I touched on with Scout a little bit, was just kind of people taking units to kind of delete other units. Now, of course, that's the whole concept of what you take an army about. It's really tough to explain what I'm trying to talk about here. What I mean is along the lines of, if you bring something that you want to be a bonus to your army and end up using it just to delete one of the enemy's bonuses. You know, both of these cavalry units, of course, would have wanted to be charging into the infantry of the opposing side, but instead today they've really just been used to delete the other person's cavalry. So it's not a bad thing. I think it's definitely something that I would say the defenders are going to feel more happy about. That they've just made sure that the attackers just do not have this cavalry to use, so that they can kind of be a bit more free with their defense. You know, they don't just have to always make sure that there's a spearman on the front line or a pike on the front line. They can hold choke points with infantry, because we've seen time and time again that someone's just, say, lined up a unit of Gondorian infantry over a choke point, which, yes, Gondorian infantry can hold a choke point against swarms and swarms of enemy infantry, but, you know, you deal with that by just having one unit of lancers come in and just strike them, get out, strike them, get out. Before 2 charges, that choke point's busted right open. Whereas, you know, of course, if the enemy didn't have any cavalry to deal with that, those Gondorian swordsmen are going to be holding that. These I'm surprised they're just winded. They've been running around like crazy. As I say, the Brotherhood of the Spear is a unit that I love the look of, but I just never use them. Poor guys haven't received an armor upgrade today. Actually, can the Brotherhood of the Spear get an armor upgrade? I don't think so. I know one of them can't, and I thought it was the Brotherhood of the Spear. Glade Lords up here, as I say, that's still 13 Glade Lords. Who, yeah, this is a good move, actually. Very lightly armoured for the quality that they are, so that's going to hurt them a bit, but not enough. And they're going to get a good, surprising, I would have expected that charge to be a little bit better, to be honest. I guess we are seeing a lot of them were just deleted there, and it just didn't look like as much because they were such a big unit. But MP Beckerman is going to punish him for it now. Getting his good quality spears in there just to stab away. Surprised that those Glade Lords didn't take more casualties. Yeah, no, that was some... Oh, this is Jack Daniels. Ah, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was playing with Jack Daniels quite recently. Not seen him before, but I played him with him in the Rohan battle recently. That was up on Uman's channel, and that was the first time I had ever seen him. So it's cool to see him kicking about again. These guys have actually been lucky enough to receive an armor upgrade. As you can see, they're wearing helmets and such. That's a nice looking shield, actually. Cool. I never really look at the Dunlending clansman units too much. Poor Dunlenders. They're really quite misplaced little guys in the world. I'd love to do a campaign sometime on Divide and Conquer. Playing through the Ered Mithrin campaign, I think. Yeah. The Clans of Ered Mithrin? Am I confusing that? No. Yeah, I think I am. Ered, yeah, oh well. The boys. The little clansmen boys. Going through a nice campaign with them. I think I could make a cool storyline with that, but I just don't really have the time for a campaign right now. And I think, like Umad's commented on it before, I think a stream suits itself much better for a campaign, rather than an episodic style. But I would much prefer to do it in an episodic style rather than do it as a stream. So we'll see how we're doing. Fearmonger is moving up alongside a lot of Snaga and Goblins. That's kind of cool. And yeah, cool. Those Fearmongers will actually inspire the fear in all of their Goblin allies there to keep them on the fight for longer. Again, that was another thing that I chatted away with Scout for a while about, just other ways that you can keep the Goblins together. A Mithlin Lancer's coming forward now. Nice charge on those Angmar Marauders. The Goblin band are around. I'd want to open fire on them, to be honest, right now. But that's a good little charge. Let's slow it down for a minute. Just see how the attackers react to that. Good move. Yeah. Quite a lot of casualties there, definitely. And it's good that MSQ is using these smaller units. A lot of people kind of, when you get down to like, 4 or, well, you know, when you get down to under 10 cav, you just kind of ignore them. You know, you think, they're too weak to do anything, but no. They've already dealt some stinging blows to these marauders. And something needs to be done with that. He's got all these snag archers. He needs to just unload on that unit. But, no, they'll be fine now. They won't be able to do that again. Not with these Goblin Band. Goblin Band may be horrendous, but they're still spearmen at the end of the day. And I love that they can hide. It was actually the last Bhur Sagath battle I think I posted. I was in it, and I think I'd like to say I used my Goblin Band quite well. Elvelyn Marksmen here, the only sort of good faction on the field today, will be cutting through the Gwaithlo trackers. Gwaithlo trackers or Gwathlo trackers really are not built for skirmish fights. They can do quite a lot of damage, and I never take them actually whenever I play as Cardlin. So I'd love to see sort of how they perform today, but they're actually doing an okay job here going toe to toe. But I guess what are the Elvelyn Marksmen shooting at here?
If we continue like this,
what targets are you picking, Jack Daniels? No. Yeah, no, he is going for them. They're holding up better than I thought, but I guess a lot of the arrows are just going into the front of the spearmen. They'll put up with that for ages. Now, although I may love Cardlin, I don't actually use Cardlin too much on a siege. Now, the reason for that is because the way that I love to use Cardlin is to make excessive use of their morale buffing units. And the whole thing with a siege is your units have to be able to fight independently, like what we have here. These Minhuria spearmen. So say if the attackers came forward with frightening forces and really dealt a nasty blow to those spearmen, they wouldn't hold in the same way as a normal sort of Western Kingdom of Man army would. And they would probably shatter quite quickly. But of course MP Beckerme knows what he's doing. The moment that they really came forward with anything of substance, I think all of this would fall back. This is not a holding position. That's going to be where they hold. This is just because they've exposed themselves to some good fire from his cheap archers that he's just brought to deal a few blows, and he's having some success with that, as we can see. What's he going into now? Nomadic warriors. Okay, yeah, cool. As I say, it's just fodder at the end of the day, but you know, he's using his fodder tier archers. He'll have much, you know, he's got sharpshooters for when they actually come forward with something more of substance. I don't know how I feel about this from Jack Daniels. I think he's trying to get a quick charge, but these are just too, the quality of the Minhuria spears is too much to pull this off. I did talk about this in a different battle actually, where you can get away with charging spears. A lot of people think just automatically if a unit is a spearman, it will beat every cavalry in the game. It won't. You know, you can get away. If you can charge in there and get immediately out before they really start to do damage to you, then it's good. But I just don't think that was worth it. Not for killing, say, the few guys that he actually did. And now he's taking a bit of fire on the retreat, which is good. He's actually still in range there. And they're getting shot from behind, so one of their very few, you know, benefits is really that shield. And those Glade Lords are really going to be beneficial later on if they keep alive. But no, that's just a bit of a lost micro. He'll be focusing on his archers a lot, just trying to pick their targets, I suspect. Oh god, these men. Not that there's really a position for it, and of course they would react differently if it was there, but imagine if the Isengard Ballista just propped itself right there and just started tearing down these lines. You got to be careful about your positioning, even if you... I find even if I think I'm safe, a lot of the time I'm not. So... these Elvelyn Marksmen, no, they've still got their bows out. They might have a volley or two left. Nomadic infantry still with some ammunition. They were really, their unit size was lowered dramatically, so they'll be able to fire for a while. So you've got to be a bit careful on these tight choke points. They've sort of merged a unit together, so that could be a bit of a pain in the ass for shooting. They might have to shoot over each other a bit. Okay, it looks like MP Beckerme is going to be falling back soon, because this is an actual... it's a low quality push, but it's a push. Let's see, I think we've got a slam on the other side too. I always seem to think that the right side starts before the left side. I usually think that the left side seems more daunting. I don't know why. Yeah. But it really shouldn't be, because it's a much wider area. But yeah. What I've seen a lot of as well is everybody's holding here now. Of course, I know why that is, but I remember back in the day, a lot of people would hold here as their first point. But, you know, it's just because it's so easy to shoot at that, and here the front line is safe from side shots from rangers and such as well. This one little block here, this man with his house and that cliff is exceptional for the defenders. Goblin infantry coming forward. You know, without that armor upgrade, they'd probably cut through swathes of the, not really, they'd cut through a few Dunlending clansmen, but with the armor upgrade, I think it's actually gonna really help them out, and it's gonna give, you know, a holding unit an actual chance here. But of course, Goblin infantry, they're free units. Shaddix is not gonna be crying about that. They're there to just tire them out and just hold them in place while he moves things around. I suspect, anyway. Another unit Goblin infantry, so he's paid a little bit of money for that next one, which I normally do. I'll normally get 2 units of Goblin infantry, unless I'm wanting to theme my army in a certain way. Yeah, Nomadic Warriors having some success here, but these Minhara Spearmen are standing their ground. You can see they're wavering already though, and that's at 73, which is not what you'd want from a mainline Spearman from a Western Kingdom of man. And so they are going to be dropping soon. Jack Daniels has actually been quite successful here. It's a very small unit of his guys, of his horsemen, but they've managed to get through. And they can deal some damage to these poorly defended, or unable to defend themselves, poor helpless Guathlo trackers charged into the backs. These men are out of ammunition, so it looks like MP Beckerme is happy enough to let them fall. And alright, no, they've reorganized themselves and they're getting a bit of balance. Let's see, if those spearmen can kill off this unit of nomadic warriors, I'm sure MP Beckerme will be happy enough with that. They were mainly there just to hold the line while the archers blasted away. Looks like the Gobo and Orc swarm is coming forward. It's nice we've got like a human elf attack from the right, and then all of the goblins and orcs are coming left. Well, goblin is of course synonymous with orc, but still. This is a tough position from Baywin. Baywin is very good with Isengard. It's definitely, I think it's probably his favourite faction. It's what I always see him playing as, so he's going to know. This is the amazing thing, like once you get to know a unit, an army, you get to know the units, you know what they're capable of, and so Baywin is going to be in that position. He is going to know exactly how his men are going to be dealing with these opponents as they're coming forward. You know, he's going to know how many goblins this Uruk-hai infantry can cut through. So it's nice to get to that point with an army, and it's why I do always sort of suggest to people that you should find an army that you really love. You should try and mix and match, of course. Always do that. Goblin crossbows, or no, that's the Verlinden archers, and the Uruk-hai archers. Good. I wouldn't really want to be using the the Uruk-hai crossbows on this force here, unless they've moved up something more quality. No, it's all plebs. It's all plebs. Maybe the Angmar Marauders could take one quick volley, but no, I don't think so. So no, I think although it is fantastic to mix and match, and really you should play around with everybody, with every faction, but there's a lot of benefit to picking a faction and saying that this is my main, or these factions are really the factions I love to play as. If you've got one, then great. If not, hey, you know, hopefully you'll find one day. Looks like an actual bit of a push is coming here, as I don't usually focus too much on trying to push in the early game. It's more about just weakening the front line rather than actually trying to break through it, because you're not going to break through this. Not with Guards of Orthanc ready and waiting. I do talk a lot of crap about the Guards of Orthanc every time I see them, you know, but they'll hold. Before the half-orc spear guard, actually, the Isengard really was lacking in spear units. Actually, did they always have half-orc spear guard back in 9.6? They might have. I think they did. Might be talking out of my ass. But still, they don't really have that many spears in comparison to other factions. Many pushing units. So that really does set Isengard apart from a lot of the other orcs that can just blitz their way through a front line. Talking about blitzing your way through a front line, looks like we have managed to do that over here, and Jack Daniels is coming forward with some Felon infantry now. But right now it's still just these nomadic warriors clashing with another line of Minhara spears. The Tharbad Warhammers will be ready and waiting with their scythe-wielding commander to slice through some of these better armoured men, but the halberds might be wasted on the halberds. I'd love to get a unit of pikes up here, course, that would just expose them to archer fire. We've got the Wardens of Tyr and Gorthad. Maybe this is a bit of a waste to use them at this time. I don't know. I didn't actually see any Greenwatch Garrison footmen from Cardlin, but I think it's probably just a case of he's really, you know, he just doesn't have the unit slots to bring a cheap unit like that. Did bring the Gwethlo trackers though. Hey, so Baywin's got a great shot down here, so it's very possible that they just want to keep this defense light so that when they do break through, when they start to push up towards, say, this line, and then this is where they're going to be defending quite hard. Although those guys are ready and waiting. I don't know. Hopefully there's a bit of communication, because it's important to just use your artillery well with people. You know, make sure that you're assisting each other and not getting much friendly fire against other people's forces. I was in a recent battle. It was a very enjoyable battle on Eclipse's take on Thranduil's Halls. So he had taken the Thranduil's Halls map and edited a little bit, and it was very interesting. It was a fun battle, but I suffered tremendous friendly fire casualties from our team's Dragon's Breath cannons, and I used that in a plural fashion. We had several of them. So no, partly my fault for positioning, of course, but hey, that's the way it goes. Wasn't really a communication issue. This line is holding exceptionally well, and as I say, this is just something you can trust Isengard to do. You can't do this with a lot of orcs. You know, it just shows the Saruman's attention to creating this exceptional fighting force. Champions of the White Hand, as I say, the most sort of healthy cavalry on the field. Now that we've seen the Glade Lords are just about killed as well, perhaps toward the end of the game, these Champions of the White Hand can burst out and really wreak some havoc in the back lines. Something I've noticed a fair bit, the defenders really haven't... Oh no saying that. They do have these Ferlinden archers here ready. Because what you sometimes just get is, as you're advancing up here, you're just torn apart. But I guess they're just waiting. They do have the Harlanden Guard here as well, but they're waiting for a unit of more quality. I'd be tempted to fire upon those crossbows though myself. Especially considering the generals in the unit. I'd love to just wipe out some of those so that if we did manage to get through, the generals just got so few bodyguards. It's weird to think of a heavy goblin crossbowman as a bodyguard. That as well, we have the Royal Court of House Thronda here. Amazing looking unit. As I say, I don't use them. They just don't match my playstyle. So, which is a shame, because I really would love to bring them to the field. Perhaps I should experiment a bit more with Cardlin. Oh dear, Tharbad Warhammers are leading the way. Now, they're very competent and very capable of doing that, but it's just such a shame that they're crashing down on top of these nomadic light infantry. Now, the Nurad footmen will be a bit of a difference there, to be honest. They do wear some armor. They may be purple boys, but they, you know, they've got some substance. Sildren River Patrol, looking for a target, but right now might just sort of be getting in the way. You really, you know, this is very expensive real estate. This, you know, this man's found the mark, along with his whole unit actually. Yeah, they're all managing to fire. This is quite strange. You usually wouldn't be able to achieve something like this. Elvelyn marksmen, they're having a bit of trouble. It says they're firing, but I just don't think they are. We've got some great fire up there by the gatekeepers. Okay, gatekeeper fire. I guess the Elvelyn men are worth it. But no. Cardlin is kind of being a bit of a sacrificial lamb here, which I think is good. Oh, I was just about to say it's good to sort of sacrifice human lives for elves when you're in a defense, but these Ferlinden Marines are leading the charge. They've run out of ammunition, and the attackers really don't have much in the way of cavalry anymore. And it looks like we've actually got a charge for the Cardlin boys to join them. So this is pretty, and that's tandem with the fire up there. This could go terribly for the attackers unless they're able to get. They've got these Avillan infantry ready to come in, Erenvorn axemen ready to fill in the line. But yeah, no, this could definitely get messy. What are we at now? 16 for 12, so pretty damn close. Yeah, that's generally what you'd expect. 16 for 13. You know, yeah, as an attacker, you're always going to be down in the early game. That's just the way it is. You know, you're meant to take losses as you're making your initial attack, so there's no shame in that. this line. Still, we're at 139 of those Dunlending clansmen. As I say, I think if your intention is to use Dunlending clansmen in this manner, then giving them that armor upgrade can make them exceptionally sort of better defended. You know, because you got to keep in mind that's a unit of like 180 something. So you're giving that armor upgrade to every single man in that unit, and it's really going to help them out, especially backing them up with this. You know, who says, you know, humans and orcs can't live together in harmony? This is the perfect sign of it. I'm sure they're cutting through other orcs. Ah, we have these boys coming up. The Mount Uruk host have joined the fray, and Umad actually comments a lot about the Mount Uruk host being really just about the same as the Uruk infantry. I don't know the stat lines exactly myself, but yeah, they can perform pretty well, and it'd be quite cool to see them going toe to toe. They may have existed at slightly different time periods, but similar height, these two. I'm trying to, oh dang, orc feller's trying to get involved in the fight. Somebody stole his kill. Maybe this one. Trying to get a nice 1v1 going on. Yep, okay, we got one going here. Right, dead. No, he's getting back up. Oh, he's stunned. He's dead. No, he's getting back up too. Good. Come on, attack each other again. Attack each other again. Ah, no, he's walking into the pipeline. Poor dude. He's done very well. But yeah, so of course, a lot of chat about Dol Guldur in the recent days. Damn. So when Dol Guldur pops up, we're going to be getting the Mountain Uruk host swapping over to them. People talk a lot of guff about the Misty Mountains and sort of how they're not effective as a faction. I disagree tremendously. But I get it. Like they're tricky. I don't think I never like to say that any faction is under or overpowered, because I genuinely don't think they are. I think it's just some factions are a lot more tricky to use in certain circumstances. So Tharbad Warhammers have actually managed to make it out. Oh, they're getting exposed to a bit of fire here. I'd probably just slip them on just behind the line. I know they're brave and they want to be holding the front alongside their spearmen, but you're too important to be on the front line, sir. Yeah, type of scenario. But Wardens of Tir and Gorthad have actually taken... Oh, that's interesting. That's what the javelins were coming in for. Even some of the captains, that's a good move from the attackers there. Coming in for the wardens, coming in for the captains. That's clever. I thought they were just slamming right into the front line. No, that was good. Yeah, nice stuff. So I actually got a counter charge, which there's no spearmen on the front line. Sildren River Patrol frantically running on forward to shell them. But oh, ouch, that was a bit of friendly fire. Yeah, no, it was a brave move and it made sense, but I think that it was just too crowded. Just a little bit too crowded. Maybe they were coming forward just to try and inspire a bit of a rout. That could have been it. You know, MP Becker me, you know, he would have seen that was maybe a bit too crowded, so that could have been the choice he was making. Oh my goodness. They're here today. It's only been 20,000 frames. No, genuinely, I expected. He's running them now, of course, so that's why they are sort of moving at a normal speed, but jeepers, their walking speed is so slow. I'm surprised that they made it today. And they've not been shot. MSQ, Ral, get him. No, they're going to get in. Totally that's three units of 190 heavy goblin halberds. That could be it. That could definitely be what cleanses this. And knocks, you know, armor upgrade or not, won't matter. Oh, heavy goblin spears pushed through on the right there. Their morale is shaken. They're trying to stab. Oh, brave boys, come on. They're trying to stab some champions. Yeah, no. See, that was a cool move from Shaddix, and that's such a big unit to be losing now. That's really a shame. But I would have wanted to come into the back, kind of as they're routing into it now. Oh, I'm so sorry. They're getting shot too, just to make sure they don't stop routing. Yeah, just the guards of Orthanc are going to be grabbing a bunch of goblins by the scruff of their neck and just capturing them. Even the champion of the White Hand just getting payback now. That's too bad. Really is a shame. It was a great move by Shaddix, just busting through that front line there, but no, he needed to... I think if it was me, I would have come around and slammed into the back. And now I know that means you're going to get shot right in the back yourself. But I guess it was the bloody guards of Orthanc behind anyway. I don't know. I think As cool as it was, I think it was maybe a little bit too early for that. Although they have actually left a hole now, and these berserkers have managed to get in. The berserkers being locked morale, they aren't going to be routing. They're going to hold. Very difficult to make a locked unit rout. Technically it can happen, but I've never seen it happen. Heavy Goblin Halberds taking a lot of fire now. This is I would say that this is a crossbow level threat. Oh no. A lot of fire coming in here. This is getting pretty messy. We're going to see a lot of casualties very quickly. But it's still close. Very close. Over this side, the more civilized forces fighting away. Can being remotely civilized. Wardens of Tyr and Gorthad have been put up to the front, but as I say, they've suffered quite a lot of casualties, so it's only 22 of them left. They're going to be providing that morale buff, which is very beneficial. We're getting a lot of crossbows coming in. Oh fuck. Yeah, so crossbows coming over, javelins coming back, fire arrows coming over too, and now the ballista's getting involved. It's pretty horrific. As I say, I would probably hold fire on that ballista, and I think he has done, because you're winning on the front line. So the only thing that ballista is going to do is maybe make you win better, which is awesome, but it could rack up a lot of friendly fire as we just sort of that wasn't a tremendous amount of friendly fire, but it wasn't great. Let's zoom on over. Urukai crossbow's waiting. Obviously, Baywin does not agree with me. Maybe he did actually give a volley and he just wants to keep them in that position, wait for them to bust forward a little bit more. Heavy Goblin Spears, another fresh unit hoping to avenge their brothers. Ooh, this Barrow White. Sort of hill climbing Barrow White. I've never seen a unit take that route, but pretty cool. But the Barrow Whites have arrived now, just a little bit slower than the Halberds. Snagger Archers opening up Heavy Goblin Crossbows. They could mince some people if they get in a target. But really, I'm pretty chuffed with these trolls. They've handled themselves quite well, and this is surrounded by halberds and such as, you know, so they've got every right to be dropping. Blackwatch Legion waiting there. As I say, I always used to think they were AP, but they're not. They might be, you know, they've got the big maces. Well, they might be later on. I know that they aren't right now. Crossbow fire. I see, so Baywin's just holding. He's not just unloading everything he has right now. He's just coming in bursts. Just bursts to just win the front line. Baywin is really... Of course, there are elves here to help him out. But he doesn't have much help on the front line. Oh, trolls of his own coming in. Trolls of the White Hand, superior to those trolls of Gundabad, I believe. Superior in size, anyway. But yeah, good, cool. We're getting some troll v troll action going on. More crossbow fire coming out. Okay, no, he's just gonna stare at the other troll. He's not swinging at him. But no, the trolls of Gundabad launched themselves right, and there's actually a lack of AP on this front line. Even, Noldor and Guard have come up forward. Another unit of pikes coming up now. We're starting to see trolls drop. Once you see one troll drop, you know that it's going to be over pretty quick. But, we've got the pikes of our own over here too, so they can be launched on in. And the Barrow Whites, as I say, the Barrow Whites have only just arrived to the front line. Oh no. Yeah, it's definitely pretty messy, but with the Noldor and Guard coming in, this fresh unit of pikes, Mithlon Marines aiding the combat too now. They're swordsmen, so they'll hold quite nicely. They'll this will hold, I think. That's all the trolls wiped out, but oh no, this one's still remaining. He was hiding inside of that troll of Gundabad. Just took he's taking a nasty stab to the back from the troll of Gundabad there. That will definitely hurt. And he will not be lasting too long. But I suspect that, the Trolls of Gundabad are not going to be lasting as long as the Trolls of the White Hand did. Even though there is a lack of AP on this front line, they're just not the same quality as the Trolls of the White Hand. That's such a blob of power there. Oh god. Just as I said, a blob of power was going. The Lurch Hunting Pack is tearing through them. So poor old Mirko. His line is going to be scythed through, and this swarm is not going to last. We do have fire and also snow trolls coming in. As long as those snow trolls don't get burned, that fire could... Okay. Yeah, this front line is dissolving. This is Noldor and Guard. Nazhai. No. Oh, not the Nazhai. I love the Nazhai. and they've just been shattered. No, I don't. I do not blame units for routing now. That's a lot of corpses. But as bad as that was, that's a lot of ammunition used, and they're getting shot to pieces by elven archers. MSQ kept these guys ready for this to respond to the Witchers. The Witchers are going to get out. That surprises me. That's not on MSQ. That's, you know, these guys, these four-legged archers had a good 2 volleys on them, and they only managed to drop 3 of them. One of them being the banner carrier of the unit, or the captain of the unit. Good on MSQ though. He is reinforced. Well, he is throwing his men on into this. He's not just shattering. But I would say at this point, you might want to consider falling back. What's happening on the other side of the battlefield? Although Baywin's sending stuff over, he might want to hold. What we after that? 47 for 42. Even as bloody as that was, we're still behind. Hearthguard of Ammon's Soul, no general in this unit, so they can actually use the fire arrows. I always put my general in with Hearthguard, so that blanks over the fire arrows. So until he dies, they're stuck not using it. They've just turned it off though, just to unload a bit more fire a bit quicker, which is a small unit, but they're steady. So I guess it's the Storm Guard. I don't know if the Storm Guard provide a morale buff to allied units. But no, if I would, as nice as it would be to wipe out that unit, I'd probably go for the Storm Guard. But I guess it's that shield bonus, and it's the heavy armor, and it's the 2 hit points, makes it a little less tempting. But if I had a crossbow, we've switched targets with something. Don't know what though. Sharpshooters here, they've still got ammo. I'd go for those Storm Guard. Yeah, I'd get them moved up forward, wipe out those Storm Guard, because they will be horrifically powerful later on. Jack Daniels, Aaron Vorn, Axeman are running off there, 51 of them. They might be back if they've, don't know if they've routed before or not though.
Only half our force remains.
That's half of Angmar. As I say, I think that this side of the battlefield, even though the other one has been going on for a lot longer, this one, no. Starting to get pretty dicey with these corpses. but no, I think we're doing all right. Swordmasters coming on up. Yeah, no, they're wanting to hold. That's pretty impressive. So I'm just gonna wipe something for a second. Hopefully this doesn't. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't come across as too unpleasant over the mic. Swordmasters there, coming on over, attacking the side of these goblin band. Whose general was that? Didn't say. It looked like it happened over here. Could have been, yeah, I'm seeing, could have been Mirko's general. Perhaps those guys were out of ammunition. No, I don't know. Oh well. No, these are crossbows back here. No general in them though. Snaga, yeah, there's a lot of people just piled on top of each other at this part of the battlefield, so it's, as I say, real estate is difficult. We do have quite a nice push on the side here, backed up by the one remaining snow troll, but fighting Noldor Guard, and I'm really impressed the defenders have actually managed to reinforce this and reform the front line. It's different. It's very different. It's not really, it's just, but they're contained. The attackers are contained, and the defenders still have a great shot into them. For how long, though, I don't know. I'd be getting these 4 Linden archers rattling up, to be honest. They still have their bows. I don't, maybe he's waiting, he wants to save something for the Witchers, but if it was me, I'd be just unloading fire into this. Perhaps that is just a sign of my impatience and my but hey, Urukai infantry coming forward. We're seeing a lot of mucking around with these champions of the white hand. Quite impressive. Lurt's hunting pack out of ammunition, but for a body piercing unit, they're actually quite good in melee. 2 hit points as well, so they're going to be launching themselves on in, and they'll hold. They'll hold pretty well. Definitely will be beneficial on the front line. Coming back on over here. Sharpshooters with ammunition, a little bit close to the front line maybe. Bit of ballista fire, tearing people apart. Looks like the Storm Guard have been sent on into the melee. Storm Guard will be great. They're a very nice phalanx unit. But, Berserkers have come on over here. Yeah, Baywin is supporting over here. That's nice to see, but I guess it's a case of the Berserkers' AP would just be so much more effective tearing the Elvelyn men, so that's why he's done it. Aaron Vorn Axeman, this is a full unit of them coming slamming on in here. They'll tear through some people, but these Linden boys are not going to care. Okay, Jack Daniels. Okay, maybe a bit bold. Maybe a bit too much pulling back. It's a good reaction to have. It's good that he saw that there was a problem. There was a big problem, and he knew that there was no point in blobbing up for that ballista. But that was clearly just a grab everything and pull out situation. Ooh, those poor guys. That ballista is tearing through people right now. But oh dear, that's a nice long line for the ballista. What sort of shot does it have right now? Very good one, to be honest. And it's holding fire though. Interesting. If I was Baywin, I would be tempted. No, it's a bit too messy now. That front line's almost fallen, to be honest. I'd be tempted to maybe get a quick volley in. You can sort of see how thin it is, and the Hearthguard are ready to come forward, but Hearthguard are spears and melee. They're 2 hit points, and they're good, but they won't hold back that swarm forever. Jack Daniels actually falling back from the fight. It was going quite well, is the issue. Sorry, my throat's not hurting, but it's just sort of started to die for a second. It'll come back. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Is he trying to sort of come out and in and get charge bonuses? I'm not quite certain what the aim was with this, but well, it's kind of working. He's pushing through. Okay. Responding, getting a lot of fire. You know, he's Materiath archers though. It's not the crossbows of before. What we got here? Yeah, very thin on the ground now. For Linden archers having to come forward. 65 for Linden archers just broken. Where are they going to run to? There's no town square on this map for them to run to, so they might actually try and run into the fight. Oh, damn it. It's a nice thing about being an attacker. You can generally be sure that your boys are going to be running out of the settlement. Whereas, you know, as a defender, as soon as something breaks, it's going to run toward a map edge. Unless there's something right in... That surprises me, because there was an enemy right in front of them. Why did they just route that way? Usually they would sort of turn around and run away. Yeah, he's having to send in some Lurt's hunting pack right now to answer to this. But it's a lot of ranged units. It's these crossbows, these halberdiers still kind of not in the right position. Waiter Fearmongers would be a great thing to have on that front line right now. But it's just a lot of ranged units. What do we still have from Angmar anyway? Are people still... There's a lot routing over here. But yeah, it's everything that's not through the mountain pass is routing. What about over here? We're seeing maybe some cataphracts. Just, yeah, there's no point trying to use your cataphracts right now. Some Merquindi bows, still with full ammunition, I'd expect. Yeah, okay, they're moving up now. Their poison arrows would be useful at this stage. Glade Guard, general in the Glade Guard. Okay, cool. I accept that. I see. I put my general in weird units. Sometimes it's yeah. Not that the Glade Guard's too weird for it. Just means you can use your elites more freely. Ooh, yeah, some broken elves running into that Elvillain marksman's sword. Jack Daniels here. What are we at now? 65 for 70. Okay, yeah. So the attackers really have started to pull it back, as is their nature. I think it's time to fall back for the defenders, as we have done here. Right, good. Yeah, we're falling back. We're getting a lot of shots in them. These are wardens. Oh, nice. Good shooting, wardens. But these Noldoran Guard they're holding. They can't really escape from this. Blackback Mountain Berserkers. They were engaging some Noldoran Blade Masters, but Mirko's not going to win that fight, and I think he knows that. So the Guardians of Karn Doom are coming forward. The issue is that someone's got to fight the Blade Masters. You can't just ignore the Blade Masters. And the Blackback Mountain Berserkers are kind of they'll do something. But I think he just wanted to come in from the back here, wipe out these units, as he kind of has done. He's broken them now. And I think they are rushing on to support their allies. Some Noldoran Guard from MSQ2, a lot of Noldoran Guard from MSQ, are going to be coming forward to stop them. But now that the other side's broken, this side really needs to think about falling back. Swordmaster's waiting here. Some sharpshooters still waiting too. Yeah, no, I think it's definitely time to consider falling back. A lot of damage has been done. You're just a touch behind. I think it's, yeah. MSQ2 here, clashing off against some halberds. Usually, you know, a phalanx unit. Shaddix could maybe do with sort of spreading his unit out a little bit, because right now you're seeing a few of these Noldoran Guard are getting around the side. But this is really a situation where it doesn't matter that you're in a phalanx, it doesn't matter that you're AP. I'm simply better than you are. You know, it's you know, the Noldoran Guard are just endlessly more skilled than the halberds. So I think even if this was a perfect fighting scenario for the halberds, they would definitely have a lot of trouble up against the Noldoran Guard. And Noldoran Guard will definitely hold the line quite well. Shaddix can maybe come around with these guys for a rear charge. They're not going to last long from a rear charge, but you know, a unit of 4 and a unit of 5, but it looks like they've kind of just been ordered straight in. Shaddix really wanting to focus on this side of the action, really. Probably wants to just push on up that alleyway before the Wardens have really torn his army apart. A lot of damage has already been taken, but everything's coming on up now. Black Urks of the Mountain have been saved. 2 full units of them. I love these guys. They're, you know, it's always weird to see a sort of an Uruk sword master, and but that's what they are. I love their swords are just really cool, really sort of fearsome. Goblin archers there. Ammunition still good for them. Snag archers too. Still with some ammo. No ammo. That last position. This is something I see happening in Bhur Sagath quite a lot. This last position often, I find the defenders actually fall back too early. And the attackers are really able to just line up all of their range units and just tear their way through this position. Now, will that happen today? I don't know. The defenders have held these front lines very nicely. Ah, damn, the ballista's out of ammunition. I see. The defenders really have held these initial front lines very well, and they've taken a lot of ammunition on them. But we're still seeing some units that have ammo. Merquendi bows firing up and over. Elven accuracy is going to allow you to do that to an extent, but still I think that this should be, I don't think this should be done. I think you should wait, as I say, until they fall back to that final position, because a unit like the Merquendi bows could really do some good damage there. Or if you can get a direct shot, fire at them at any time, but shooting up and over. They're not Lothlorien men at the end of the day. Varia Cataphract's coming on in. It's only 1 now though. That could have been a big game changer there, but there were only 4 at the start. And oh god, yeah, those elves were just able to nimbly dodge out of the way of that charge. Let's see about this next one. A few stabs. Come on, boys. I don't know. No, he didn't receive any stabs back. So hey, if you can just keep doing that, and if nothing else, they've turned them around so that the Merquendi and these Pharaohs, probably from the Elvelin, can do some damage to them. So I think Grizzly's really coming quite far back for a proper charge, but I'd probably want to come in and break this position, in all honesty. Heavy Goblin Spears coming up, but again, the Noldoran Guard are just too good. Can't beat those High Elves. We've got the Black Uruks waiting here. Archer fire. Ooh. Jeepers, where'd that fire coming from? That's some really good... Yeah, that's a fantastic position from those Harlingen Guard. Coming blasting into the back of those heavy goblin crossbows, who still actually have ammo. Looks like they're maybe trying to find a spot to shoot back, but you're not going to outrange elven archers with crossbows. And this is the issue with putting your general in this sort of unit. When that unit routs, he's gone. That's why it's really nice to put your general in locked morale units, so that you know he's going to be fighting to the very end. But Wardensville, Austerian, at least they're out of ammunition now, but that's, again, 2-handed elven swordsmen. They can hold the line. Definitely not against the Black Mountain Berserkers, though. But is that only 1 left? Yeah, 3 of them. 3 of them are left. Added bonus of putting your general in with the Black Mountain Berserkers is his personal unit model will gain AP, as well as being locked morale, as they are. But I say that as somebody who likes putting them with the Goblin King's bodyguard. Speaking of that, where are they? Must have been sent into the blob, poor guys. Yeah, I think so. Now, those Witchers, we've not seen them for a little while. They did get out safely. Ah, here they are. Goblin King's bodyguard back here. It's good to get these guys up at the front because they do provide a morale buff. So, especially if you don't have your general in the unit, I would really recommend getting them stuck into the fight. Glade Lords coming in and out. Jack Daniel's really trying to do his best, but it's kind of tough. Oh, starting to lose a lot of units there now. Only down to 2, I think. We had 3 there, but 1 just dropped. This is the general alongside his Noldor Glade Guard. Harland and Guard, sorry, Noldor Guard, Noldor and Guard, waiting there after the successful fight. They're not really too bothered about going toe to toe with the Black Back-Mounted Berserkers, though. Sorry, Black Uruks of the Mountain, which I don't blame them for. No point in doing that right now. We've got an admit defeat from one of the players. Must be one of the attackers, unless we've not really seen any Urukai, so it could be Uruks. Any Uruks back here? No. Doesn't look like it. Okay, looks like Baywin really went all out for that defense. The very brave Urukai of Isengard have done their part, and then some. So that's cool to see. Yeah. As I say, if you need to go, I don't know. He might have needed to leave. So it's always good to just make sure that you've used up all of your assets before you have to go, even if you do have to be pretty bold with them. Jack Daniels, wait, he's here. He's sort of in the sight lines now. I don't think that they're going to open fire because they're out of ammo. Yeah, they're all out of ammo now. Nice and heavily armored. Really not great in a fight, but that good armor, that sword. To be honest, if he's shooting at them, if he was willing to shoot at them, I'd keep them there. I'd rather he shoots at them rather than shoots at the front line of those warnings or these gatekeepers here. Even with an armor upgrade, the gatekeepers can take an absolute pounding. Let's say, with that armor, with that shield on their back, they've got good armor as standard, but then giving them that armor upgrade just makes them horrendously powerful, which I love. One of my favorite units, definitely. Got to say though, I think out of Cardlin, I've got to say probably my Hearthguard of Amon Sul are my favorite, just because of how much I need them. For what I do, they're just so necessary to have on the front line. But in terms of kills, the gatekeepers are always at the top for me. Fearmongers, they've paid for every step that they've taken, but they've taken a lot of steps, so pretty effective. Goblin archers, I worry here. We've got a lot of power, but a lot of it is in the ranged units, and there's 2 main issues here. The defenders might end up launching a counter attack, or 2, they can just withstand it. They'll just send fodder at it and take all the beatings, and then the elite units in the back, the wardens especially, they'll just hold the line. Snag skirmishers there, they've still got javelins. So I think if the attackers are wanting to do this, even though they are ahead right now, if the attackers want to do this, they need to use up their ranged units. And we're not even halfway through. Well, sorry, what am I talking about? We're just over halfway through. So that makes me pretty sure that that's what they're going to be doing. Well, the Stone Guard are still alive, so we'll probably position ourselves. Oh no! I was about to say we'll position ourselves and go a bit faster. But the Wardens have sprung a trap. They can still hide, even without their ammunition. So clearly a little ambush was laid. A few of the Merquendi bows fallen. Seldon River Patrol were preparing themselves, but to be honest, maybe it would have been good. I don't know. MSQ would have probably preferred they took a javelin volley rather than as blade masters or something like that later on, because somebody's gonna have to take those javelin volleys. Saying that though, what do we still have? Archer White Hearthguard might still have a few volleys. Gatekeepers, of course, they've still got some volleys, but that's really it. Yeah, the defenders really have used up a lot of ammo. Nothing hiding back here in the main keep, no, or the main temple. I don't know what you'd want to call this. Yeah, men-at-arms. That's a full-on Minheriath men-at-arms force. So they will definitely do a fair bit of killing. Wardens, arch set of ammo. Yeah. Oh, even some of the Tharbad Warhammers are surviving. I love the captains from these units. Let's say Cardlin is just by far one of my most appealing factions aesthetically. But no, where are the gatekeepers? Where are those gatekeepers? I think they've maybe moved out. No. I don't think gatekeepers could hide. I'm trying to find them. No. Oh well. They're about. Pikemen coming all the way back here. MSQ does. They're very fragile, these guys. Very little armor on them. So MSQ just wants to keep them incredibly safe. And just let the humans do a bit of dying for him. As is the elven way. Ah, the gatekeepers have moved over here. So they still have... Oh no, they don't have ammo. Okay. Right, that changes things. It was my understanding the gatekeepers still had a few volleys. I was going to say that if the gatekeepers still had ammo, and those Hearthguard of Amon Sul still had a few shots, this could have been pretty... Oh, what do we have? Oh, the wardens. This would be pretty dang... like, I would definitely be betting on the defenders, but the fact that the defenders just have such a small amount of ammo, you know, we've seen Bhur Sagath go this way before, and I think it might go this way again. What I'm thinking right now is the attackers are going to come forward. They're going to start unloading ammunition on the defenders. The defenders are going to take it on the chin with units like the Menheriath Spears that can do that. They'll do that very well. And once the Menheriath Spears are, I don't know, we might end up with a counterattack. Is what I'm trying to get to. But of course, if the defenders are going to counterattack, the earlier the better. Because if you make the intention, if your intention is just to use up your enemy's ammo, and then halfway through you decide actually no, we're going to attack, that can just be horrendous. We've got some fire coming from down there, but it's just not effective. Shots coming into the back of the Glade Guard. That's some good shooting. Good stuff here, Hearthguard. And yeah, again, if Jack Downs is willing to take this very unpleasant shot, I'd be willing to take it. Hearthguard have nice armor and a shield, you know. A few arrows isn't really going to mess with them too much. Heavy Goblin Archers, I've not even really seen them fire too much, so they might have quite a lot of shots left in them. But it looks like the Hearthguard are moving over here just to get a bit of counter fire going on, probably. Of course, as long as a few of them are left standing at the end of all this, they'll do well in terms of their morale buff. Oh, a lot of fire coming in. What we do? It's all Heavy Goblin Archer fire and just Goblin Archer fire though. Nothing that's going to be really pissing off the gatekeepers too much. I'd still not want the gatekeepers taking this fire though. MSQ coming forward with a quick counter attack. Going pretty well. I don't know what else you could really use. I'd be tempted to get the Royal Court actually, come in for a charge or two, but I think he's maybe wanting to just wait for a better moment. What I'm thinking though is the crossbows. It's because we got these. Is that 3? 1, 2, 3 units of heavy goblin crossbows. 2 from Shaddix and 1 from Merkel. Now they've used up a fair bit of ammo, no doubt, but I think they've still got a fair bit left. Now it's the crossbows that I think are going to be finishing it and just making it too tough for the defenders. And that's why I genuinely think a counterattack, because right now the strength of the defenders is in their infantry, and the strength of the attackers, I believe, are in their rangers. The only major issue with a counterattack right now, I think, is the Witchers. So those Witchers are still lurking somewhere. They don't have much ammo, but even one Witcher volley can tear people apart. So looks like okay. So they're going to be holding. They're sending forward the spearmen just to take this beating, and that's fair. Menheriath Archers are there. They can take a lot of fire as well. And if this works, then I think that the defenders have it, because the attackers just don't have the infantry there. Like, what's left back there, those Mithlon pikes, they can form a line and they can kill hordes and upon hordes of heavy goblin archers in melee. It wouldn't even be funny. You know, the only other real infantry units of quality that are existing right now, the Goblin King Bodyguard, you know, and that's not, it's an elite unit, but it's not, it's nothing major. So I don't know, bit concerned. As I say, I think this is going to be a bit of a shooting fest. The Black Orcs and Mountains, to be honest, are kind of threatening. What have we got here? Glade Guard, yeah, a bit nasty too. Halberds, exhausted halberds. Yeah, Goblin King Bodyguard there. Anything else that I'm forgetting? Barrow Whites, hey man, you know, Barrowwhite's a Barrowwhite. One of these still in shield wall. That's kind of funny. This one Blackwatch Legion is still in shield wall, and he's wearing a dwarven helmet, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that's why he's moving like that, because he's still got the shield wall order given. As of these Goblin Band. Oh, General? Oh, don't. Did you put your General in a Goblin Band, Irishgunner? He did. Love it. I can't, like, I can't, you know, I've got no excuse, because, like, I do the same. I put my General in Rudar Clansman sometimes. Okay, cool. So we have a countercharge, which, as I say, I think that this is the defender's best chance. Just coming forward like this. Dunedain Rangers used up their ammo. You know, they'll mince, like, with the quality that's on the field here. Oh, the fearmongers will tear them apart, to be honest. But I think a countercharge is the defender's best bet. Black Orcs of the Mountain coming forward now too. Some Storm Guard there, stabbing away. No, damn. Okay, what little elite, or what little units of quality that the attackers still had left there, they used them quite well just to sort that push out. And this poor Tharbad Warhammer too. Yeah, that's a shame. So no, I think we're back to the melee defense. Well, the ranged defense strategy now. Bit of fighting left. Don't really know what's. Oh, this poor Tharbad Warhammer. Yep. But we'll just we'll get moving there. Menhiria Spearmen, as I say, they'll take so much fire. Storm Guard up there actually. All right, cool. Getting pulled back now though. I think it was, oh, maybe Grizzly Fox is just wanting to get stuck in. Good for him. Oh no. I don't know. We'll see how that develops. But yeah, Menhiriath archers backed up by Menhiriath spears, they can take fire for ages. Evelyn infantry have come forward now. That's kind of good. Just try and get your infantry forward to use up their fodder, and they're actually still getting some shots on the good units behind. Ouch! Harlingen Guard lined up in front. They've got shields, but still. But this is how you deal with this for sure. You send forward your infantry, your decent quality infantry, just to take on the enemy fodder. Don't let them use their fodder to take up your archer fire. That's, yeah, silly. You know. So just sending forward your infantry like this, as I say, it's not exceptional quality, but Black Orcs mixed in with the Avellan infantry. There's no infantrymen on the field right now to challenge that, which has called upon them to send forward their wardens. To mix it up with that, and I think that they definitely will be capable of that. Let's go back to normal speed now. The Wardens have turned up. This is a pretty real engagement. Wardens getting backed up by some Rangers. As I say, it's more mass for the front, and more mass, more skilled, sort of parrying, hits away. It's good, and but we've got a lot of elves now, and this looks like this is it. So we've got the real engagement is happening now. Which surprised me. I thought the attackers really would allow, would just use up all of their ammo. They're still getting some shots in. A lot of it is coming up and over. You can kind of, this is a great thing about when you have had a unit that's been like halfway destroyed, because you can fit them into gaps that you wouldn't normally be able to with a full-sized unit. So like these 52 Goblin crossbows, since they're quite a small unit, they could maybe line up down this passageway. I've done that before with, say, units of like 20, and you can really get some good side shots on, some good Shinaga skirmisher throws right into the side. But now with all of this quality on the front line, the defenders are really able to hold, and they're getting some shots in, but still. But these defenders are near enough all thrown in. We've got the Mythalon Swordmasters back here. But is that it? I don't know. No, and then a few elves in the back, but it really isn't much. So it's good quality, but it's not much. So all of the humans on the front line right now are going to be getting tired out. Slowly, but they're going to be getting tired out. They're fresh right now. So the attackers coming in with just these swarms and swarms is just going to be wearing them down, and little by little, because they're keeping their units out of the fight. We'll see how that turns out. I would definitely want to get my Goblin King bodyguard closer to the front. Don't have to get him in, but if he's closer to the front, he's going to keep your boys nice and enthused about the fight. But there's not really There's black, black Urks of the Mountain are up here, so no, I think it would definitely be worth your while. Still doing river patrol. Ah, they've got their javelins. Okay. Can't really get a shot though. Oh no. Yep, this is probably where I'd be going for. They might have a shield, but they're the easiest target, I'd say. So just trying to bring down some of them. MP back with me is clearly kind of putting them here as like, hey, shoot at me. Maybe. Well, preferably what I'd do is I'd get them along the side there and come into the side, but, you know, hey. Yeah, defenders are holding this quite well so far. You see, this is kind of, this is what I was expecting, but I was expecting this as a countercharge. Down the slope, engage them that way. What time are we on? Oops. Yeah, no, that's fine. I've got another half an hour. We'll get through this battle in half an hour. Quite a long one. 60,000 frames, which is Bhur Sagath is always going to be quite a long fight, but it's not like excessively long. Like, even though it does take quite a while, it never really feels like it does because you're constantly kind of moving around. You know, there's what I've seen a lot of recently is it turns into like a 2-position fight. By that I mean there's the front line, and then once the front line falls, people fall straight back to this final defensive line. And I've seen that being a very sort of attractive concept for defenders right now. You know, I used to see a lot more of defend the front line. Okay, front line's fallen. Defend the secondary line. Secondary line's fallen. Defend the third line. You know? Whereas now people just seem to, okay, reinforce the front line. Reinforce the front line. Until the front line is entirely gone. And then everything falls back to the final position. Which is perfectly fine, you know, and it's effective, and I know why people do it, but it's less enjoyable to play that, I think. Totally fine for me to cast it, and totally fine to watch it, I think, but no, because it's very interesting to see sort of why people are doing it. Wardens as Tyr and Gorthad are just tough on the front line right now, and I just don't think the enemy have anything to deal with it. You know, they don't have any pikes right now. But as they're pushing further and further down, they're just exposing themselves to, you know, as I say, snag of skirmishers right here. Or a Witcher unit. We haven't seen the Witchers for a while. As I say, the Witchers might be dead, but yeah. I guess once the Witchers kind of fell back, MSQ made it his mission to wipe them out. So as soon as they entered into any archer line, they would have been destroyed. I think they were incredibly important in breaking through that position. It really sort of it wiped out the initial defense, which the initial defense was just holding so well. Now I don't really think that anything of quality was sent up to fight that initial defense until the Witchers were sent in. You know, the Witchers came in, blasted it, and then the Halberds came in, the Barrow-wights came in, and I think that was fantastic, but you know, I think even if the Witchers hadn't been there, I think that combination of Barrow-wights and Halberds would have actually started to do some good work. Halberds definitely came in a bit too much of a blob. Would have been nicer to maybe see them come up, spread out, and come and smash into it in a straight line, instead of really sort of balling up as if they were a pushing unit. You know, and that was Barrow-wights flying around. Good stuff. Yeah, very, very light mass on the Barrow-wights, so they do get sort of thrown around in these tight sort of confines. But no, little by little. Oh, okay, victory now. I guess those poor wardens. I'm not seeing any more wardens. I think the wardens are dead. No, we're seeing a handful, but the wardens just got so split up that they ended up dying. And all that's left now are the gatekeepers. Okay, so if those last few men from MSQ are going to be reinforcing a front line, they need to move now, because this is dead. They're coming forward. They're rushing up because that went to hell real fast. That was going really well for the defenders. 88 for 92. So they're running up. They're going to take a bit of fire. It's good that the Noldoran guard are leading the way a little bit. They need to keep leading the way. No. Dunedin captain falling back to the main keep. just to hold there. So yeah, we'll see what comes to face him at the end of it. He might turn around and come back though. Noldor Guard, yeah, all right. Thing is, with the Noldor Guard up front, the Noldor Guard with their great armor and their shield would just be able to shrug off any arrows that came at them. But those Mithlon pikes leading the charge like that just means that, you know, there's going to be a few of them dropping. Got kind of lucky though, not many of them though. So with the pikes coming back onto the front line, I think that this will stabilise it again. And, you know, the Minotaur Roman gatekeepers are halberds. Yeah, okay, we immediately turn to victory there.
Only
As,
half the enemy force remains.
Oh, right, okay. Only half the enemy force remains? No, that's a mistimed... My announcer's been going crazy recently. I don't know if I've downloaded something dumb, but like my announcer just doesn't know what to say anymore. Like my general will die and he'll just say the wrong announcement. Or like, you know, randomly he'll be like, you know, our general's died, and I'm like, no, our general died way earlier. Ooh, right, see, so I would have saved my cav, to be honest. Oh, men-at-arms coming forward now too. I would have saved my cav really and just used them in this open area. Just as soon as the enemy broke through, just charge back, charge. But I guess he's just wanting to come in again, just try and spook some people into running, and they're also, you know, swinging their swords away. A bit more, you know, cavalry mass on the front line. Totally fresh, totally full unit of Black Uruks coming up now though. But I think, as I say, those halberds from the gatekeepers are armor piercing, and being Uruk swordmasters, they're certainly not going to be parrying things away as well as even a human swordmaster is going to be doing. So they are relying on their armor. It's great that they've got that shield on their back too, but so yeah, that AP is going to be helping. They're trying. These last few guys they're trying to worm their way through. As I say, hold. MP Pickerme is really just getting keen for just throwing himself in. What we got? 90 for 93. This is really horrendously close actually. What we got? Goblin King Bodyguard coming up now. Noldor and Guard, man for man, might be able to do something to them, but there's not really any totally like 2 hit point elite unit to face off against them right now. And see, this is why I'd want to save the cav, because they can just come in for a slam. I think that everything else here is going to be destroyed, but I think it's going to be the Goblin King Bodyguard that pushes through. Goblin Archers, we're seeing a lot of these. Oh, a lot of these men are running. No, oh, the Glade Guard are just coming back. Glade Guard are just coming back from the fight now. What was that? Admit. Must have been an attacker. It wasn't a defender. Yeah. No. Good. I don't know which attacker that would have been, but somebody probably had to leave, because this would have gone on for quite a long time at this point. The issue here is that as soon as that front line does break and all of these men do rout, if that is the way it ends up going, those crossbows are just going to tear through. This can be another reason to save the cav. Just to try and blast in and stop these crossbows from firing. Oh, we're seeing defeat now on a lot of these positions. It's kind of the same, you know, it's still quite a thick blob, but there's no more reinforcements coming in. There's one more Dunedain captain here. Actually, no. What? Alright, he turned around. He ran back for a minute, but no, he came back in the fight. I was kind of looking forward to that last Dunedain captain just fending something off in the main keep, because you never see a fight happening back there. I always, when I'm an attacker on Bhur Sagath, I always make it my goal of, as soon as we break through this final defense, I run right in there, and if I can get in there before the battle ends, I'm happy. You know, that's my thing. Goblin King Bodyguard there. Victory. Wardens of Tir Gorthad kind of busted up, spread about in a dumb way. It's not his fault. It's not MP Beckery's fault. It's just, you know, it's the way it's just what happens in these sort of situations. Noldor and Blade Master. There's still 7 Blade Masters in there. 7 Blade Masters not going to win the day, I don't think. Dear. Oh, yeah, it's the Goblin King Bodyguard, I think. You know, they may not be an exceptional elite, but they're still an elite unit. Stabbing up forward. It might stabilise though. God, this is going back and forth like crazy. What are we at? 92 for 95. Okay. Defenders really are down a few percentage points now, but a lot of that power, well, a lot of that percentage is just in these archers, and they're using up their ammunition like there's no tomorrow. These men have just used up like to be honest, probably 7 Blade Masters could kill those 111 men. Yeah, we're seeing defeat now, as a lot of the fodder is run off, leaving just the Black Uruks and the Goblins to fend this off until those Goblin Archers can come forward. I'd maybe get the Glade Guard up there right now, because this is looking ragged. Yeah, Goblin Archers coming forward just to fill in the gaps. We are seeing elves dropping little by little. This is thinning out. The gatekeepers are actually falling back, which the issue is I just think that's going to expose them to fire. They've been given the order to attack again though, so they are going to shuffle on forward, but I think they need to get like a move order. They need to get sent on in. Medieval 2 is she's a very old game, so you've got to you've got to know how to just make your units do what you want sometimes. Black Uruks just tearing into this. Oh, shoot. Okay, no, that's a lovely model there. That's not the general, is it? I thought the general for Linden looked different, but no, that is the bearded elf there. But no, this victory is coming again now. But no, that's Linden's general. Linden's morale is probably going to hold. Ah, crap, just as I said it. It should, especially with what's left. This Mithlon, it's Noldor in. Come on, stabilize, boys. Hold. I do keep flipping back and forth of who I'm supporting in this fight. I'm afraid right now I'm supporting the defenders. I would love to see them just pull this out. Okay. There's one cav. He's got a lance. Just get him out, MP. Just pull him away. Because when this breaks, as I say, like one cav can just tear a hole through a line, and they just don't have much. They don't have any anti-cavalry here anymore. Oh, it's stabilized. It has stabilized. I've got to say, I really am glad that the attackers did it this way. They didn't just, because what they could have just done is lined up all of their range units and just unloaded everything they had and then come in as a swarm. Doing it this way is a lot more entertaining. It's yeah, it's just better. So I'm grateful for that, I should say, as much as I am supporting the defenders. Once here, oh, okay, this push from Jack Daniels is kind of shredding things. Yeah. Goblin King Bodyguard, again, only 26 of them left now, so probably kind of hurt. Rangers there, well, I've not seen our Dunedain captain friend for some time. I think he's gone. No, Wardens, they're being given an order, and they're holding. Yeah, that's the men at arms are running there. The Rangers are running. They're fighting to the death, which is probably what you'd want right now. Just even if they can get another swing. Gatekeepers falling back, Wardens falling back, but I just don't think they've got enough men. Royal Court taking shots. It looks like MP Beckenry is going to try and fall back to the town centre, leaving the elves behind. Goblin King Bodyguard? Oh no, I thought he had pushed on through. The Glade Guard are coming for them. No, I think... Because I'd do this. I just want to get in the back and just wipe out these Sword Masters, because these Sword Masters will keep on killing. What are we at generally? 93 for 98, okay. Again, it's so much fodder. And if he can reform inside like that, that's 2 halberd units. Well, it's a pike unit, exceptional pike unit, and a halberd unit. So if they can just reform and get tight together, then they can cut a lot of these men down, and they won't really be able to get as good a shot inside that final position. So it looks like we do. What time are we on? I'll speed up to 2 times speed, just for a minute. Celebrate. Yeah, they deserve to celebrate. Good on them. As they march on forward, I don't blame them for not running. You know, you don't. How would I? So. What have we got here? Yeah, this is... Oh, okay. Okay, this changes things. Noldor and Guard are still here. 43 of them. Now, the issue is... Now, of course, what you could do in this scenario, because that can just be walked through and that can be shot through. You just line up your crossbows right here and just blast right into it. Now, I don't know if they're going to do that or not. Oh, no, it is. Dear me. So, Shaddix is... how good a shot is he going to get, actually? Because this, I don't blame the attackers for doing it this way, because like that's not gonna be easy to break through. But Jack Daniels is not willing to wait. He's gonna get what's left of his elves to push forward. Oh, they're hidden. No, they're just gonna hide there. No, out of ammunition. As I say, so much of these numbers is just plebs, and it's all moved forward now. Such a weird. You look at the mini map, and you just see the real scale of how many men are still left in comparison to what's over here. I think this is the one horseman. Yeah, I would. It's kind of. I'd be tempted to just get my horseman out. He just gets shot by crossbows though, to be honest. But maybe assassination mission for the general. Run out this way, come around the back, just stab him. Got to be very accurate with that. Where you start giving him the order though, so that he comes in at the right trajectory. Because he'll just go for like I don't know how the unit decides. I think it just goes for like the middle of the unit. So you got to attack from the right angle. Okay. Oh. Okay. Good stuff. Look at that. That's nice. Even if he drops now, he just Even if he drops now, he's still just like killed 4 Glade Guard there. So that's pretty effective. I would have loved. Even so, say when he had like 4, that's how I feel he should have been using them for this final stage. But it's good that he pulled that off. Definitely was sort of unexpected. I think this is 1. How the heck do you get 1 Snagga Stalker? How is this man not run? He must have just been surrounded by the Goblin King bodyguard and just like, nope, I am not leaving. So that 1 man, even if he's probably even got just a slither of ammunition left, he's probably going to be able to last for ages. Goodness sake. Yeah, so I think, as you can see, they start getting their crossbows. So as soon as they line up properly, the defenders are going to need to counter-attack. And they're ready to like swarm them from all sides. What's going on here? Shaddix. Yeah, you see, so they're standing right there. The defenders need to do something. Okay, good. We're coming out. Coming out and engaging. Just with the gatekeepers though. So these defenders know what they're doing. They're both pretty veteran boys. Shaddix, he's going into guard mode here. Oh. Few hits, but not actually as drastic as it could have been. So the gatekeepers are keeping the gate. They're sacrificing themselves first, just to use up what's left of the ammunition out here, and also stop the crossbows from firing. Skirmishers here, crossbows here, so still with ammo. Oh no! Now that unit's fallen back, though, they've sort of exposed themselves entirely to fire. They're going to run back in. A few of them died, as I say, like even though they inflicted a heck of a lot more casualties than they lost, that was 3 gatekeepers for a bunch of goblins. What we got? Elf-Villain Marksman now stepping up to the plate to see if they can shoot on through. What's going to answer to them? Again, the gatekeepers holding the line. Absolutely minced. There's 1 man standing. He's going to get away. Yeah, no, I don't blame him. I think they just had their backs turned for that 1 second, and they all just got that armor-piercing stab in the back by the halberds. Glade Guard. Okay, Glade Guard can do it. I think Glade Guard could probably beat the halberds. Could beat the gatekeepers. Oh, this guy's nervous though. He's seen what's happened to everybody else. He was shaken. Okay, we've got a proper confrontation, but we've got the pikes involved now, and that's not something that the Glade Guard can beat. But all they need is for them to sort of poke, I think. So this sort of item is working differently than what I thought, or this asset is working differently, so I guess you can't actually shoot through that door. I thought you would be able to, but no. I've never made a map before. I just don't really know how these sorts of things function. As tough as it is, it's the attacker's duty to attack, especially when you are sort of outnumbering them. So this is a tough position to get through, but they've still got to do it. Black Orcs, yeah, no, the Black Orcs are sort of real unit of infantry of melee quality. Oh damn, the gatekeeper's broke. No. And I think that is. Well, the gatekeepers are down. Still got the wardens, still got the Noldoran guard. I think it's time to get stuck in. Wardens are coming forward. MSQ kind of holding back still. Oh, I see. Because there's this section. Oh no, it's not going to fight in an area that we just can't watch. So, because that ends there, which is probably about here, and then this ends here. So the fight is happening here right now. We can't zoom in through that. We can't see. No. Oh, damn. Can we look from this side? Okay, good. Yeah, we can see some of it. Wardens are holding, actually doing quite well. And now that Noldor and Guard are getting stuck in too. Let's go back to normal speed for now. Oh, defeat is almost certain. What the hell? Must be the Goblin King bodyguard. I don't know what. Yeah, a Black Orcs the Mountain. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Goblin King bodyguard is sort of engaging them. Sort of really the only unit that can go toe to toe with them here. And just the swarm of infantry around them are allowing them to do that. Wardens are broken at 5 left, which is going to leave the Noldor and Guard without any sort of phalanx to back them up. And they're spread out like crazy right now. That is the general mixed in amongst them there. Actually, no, general already died. Sorry. Crossbowmen, yeah, coming forward from Shaddix. Really, just as I say, it's just manpower. It's just something for them to focus on. Jack Daniels trying to slip his men on through. Not really push. I'm going to say slip on through, but it's the Glade Guard as well. They're just going to be able to tear, do some good damage here. Could really look after themselves in melee. Not so much at range though.
The battle is very much in our favor.
Oh, it's just the swarm now, and these Noldor Guard just broke. That's a shame. I was hoping they would. I was hoping they would stand to the last, but 94 is pretty damn close there. As I say, I think that's how I've seen Bhur Sagath go. Not exactly like that. That was very. Oh shoot! Oh, that was a shame. I think he probably did say that to me actually. Oh no, I need to talk to Scout, because Scout was mentioning a battle. I don't think this is it though. But yeah, no. It's kind of nice we don't have that, so we can just sort of look around the battlefield. Yeah, it's a shame when that happens, but you really have a lot of blood. Yeah, so this is what I'm generally talking about. You have these two massive points here and then over at the other side. You can't zoom out. Oh no, you can. Cool. Yeah, you have here and then over at the other part there. And once that's kind of broken, you used to kind of get people falling back to here, which there was a skirmish. I see a skirmish. Yeah, it wasn't really a choke point, but you usually get, you'll have somebody maybe falling back to here and here. But I find right now everybody's kind of just falling back to that final point. And it's not just on Bhur Sagath. I see that happening on a lot of maps. So it's but it makes sense to do it. I think people really, they like the idea of a single sturdy front line, and it makes sense and it's good to do that. But the issue with a single sturdy front line is you don't use up as much of the enemy's ammunition. It depends on how you do it, but that's the way I've generally seen battles go. So yeah, that leads to the attackers just having so much ammo left here. I would have loved to have seen what would have happened if the defenders just went for it. If the defenders just went all out once they had fallen back to here, once the attackers had gotten into a position and just gone fully into a countercharge. Maybe it wouldn't have worked. I don't know. That's what I would have been advocating for though. I think that once you know you've got you're just outnumbered and ranged, that's kind of it, finished. You're always going to be, you're either countercharging or just waiting out your death. So it was cool to see this area of the map getting used, just because you very rarely do see it. Anything could have been different. As I say, because I'll try and run through players. Main man, guy who sent me this battle report, who I really should remember, Irishgunner, so sorry, Irishgunner. Yeah, he was of course pretty damn good with his Witchers. Very, very much sort of leading the charge over there, I'd like to say. A lot of money spent on those, sorry about that, a Goblin Band, which, well, not a lot of money at all actually, but I think Goblin Band is always an interesting choice. I think they can actually do Shield Wall, which is kind of cool to see, so they can do some pushing, but yeah, I think it was only one unit of Barrow Whites. I might have been wrong with that, but didn't even look at the barrel weights at the start. But hey, yeah, because his army was in such a blob, so it was tough to see what he had. So pretty effective. I would say that it was cool to see the orcs really smashing through one side, and then the men and I'm going to call them dark elves for now, pushing through the other. So well, they are dark elves. They've not seen the light of Valinor. So hey, and yeah, so that was a cool little split. It's always fun to see how people do split up Bhur Sagath, because it's you know, you can mix about in that courtyard area. And of course, that courtyard area is really where you suffer so much damage from range units. So yeah. Baywin was exceptional at really putting himself out there in the beginning choke points. I would have loved to see how he did with that, but yeah, and then that's that really. Anyway, thank you guys a bunch. I'll be on again. Scouts debrief next weekend. Really sorry about this one. I've got it sorted out now though. It'll all be okay. And that is that. Thanks guys.